بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله والصلاة والسلام على أشرف الأنبياء والمرسلين نبينا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين أما بعد.
So the series is called "The Religion is Advice," and my purpose of this series is to bring light to things that are happening in the city. And as we know, there was a shooting over at Philadelphia Masjid, and I took that kind of personal because it's not only affecting all the Muslims, and it's also affecting me as well personally because it's a masjid that I've been to their events. I've been there on Thursday when they do food giveaways and things of that nature. I bring my own children there. So I took it personal, and what I wanted to do was I wanted to see where's the unity amongst the Muslims in our city. I felt like it was 1,000 people out there celebrating. It should have been 1,000 people out there standing with the masjid and also with the Muslims. And we hear that it's a lot of like behind the scenes stuff going on. It's a lot of meetings. It's a lot of we doing work behind the scenes. But as we know that the violence and the things that's going on is out in the open. None of them behind the scenes. Nobody is doing nothing behind the curtain. They doing it out in the open, and it's affecting all of us. So I wanted to sit down with y'all and get your opinion on solutions. What do you think are some of the problems? And also, what do you think we can do better as Muslims that has some unity? So the first question would be, what do you think it would be a good solution to the violence or to the corruption that's going on in the neighborhoods amongst the youngins and amongst the people right now?
Well, before we get to the Bismillah before we get to the solution, right, I think it's important that we all agree on what the problem is.
No.
And most people complain about unity.
No.
I think that's a fair, I don't care what part of the city you go to, people complain about unity. The Muslims complain about unity. From what I'm seeing, I've been behind the scenes, in front of the scenes. We know everybody as far as the behind the scenes and different masjids. And also the general people in the masjid who now in administrations. Everybody is talking, but there's very few people who are willing to take the next step to unify.
I agree.
It sounds good. We could have a meeting, we could talk offline, we could talk on the side. All that's cool. And all that sounds great. And it's a good conversation. But not just the people behind the scenes, the brothers and sisters in the masjid, what are people willing to do to unify and fix the problem? That's the question. How far are people willing to go? And I'm going to give you an example. We could talk on the side about fixing something, coming up with a solution. But who's ready to go public like this with people that you might not have been known to unify with in the past? Y'all didn't have a great relationship in the past. How far are you willing to go to show for a bigger benefit for the city, which is saving our kids from dying in the street? Saving these kids from dying in the street. They 12 and 10 and 11 and 13. We talking about trying to help save kids. How far are you willing to go to help the situation? That's the question. Because unity it's all that sounds great. Now what? What are we doing after that? How many people willing to go public? Like this is public, right? This live?
Nah, yeah,
How many people willing to go public and say, listen, we coming together, we done put this difference to the side, we coming together for a bigger picture. Islam considers the maslaha amma, the general benefit takes precedence over a personal benefit. You know what I'm saying? How many people willing to go that far? And that's, in my opinion, that's one of the major problems. We talking a good game, just like we do in Philly. Everybody know what to say and when to say it.
Nah.
Tell you, when it's time to stand up and do something after that, it's a lot of hesitation. Why? You got to talk to the people who hesitant. Whoever's hesitant about doing something, you got to ask them directly. Why? Why not? What's the problem? What's the real hesitation about? And I think that's important before we start talking about solutions, because we got to know what we all looking for a solution for.
I'm gonna say this too, right? Even though this is live, this is public. This look good. This look good to the people, but this ain't real. What's real is what's going on behind the scenes. The real talk, the real sittings, what's going on, what we gonna do. All the behind the scenes stuff was real. Right now, this is for the gram, the Insta, whatever y'all do. Everybody could look. Oh my, they want. This don't mean nothing. This is a horse and pony show. We don't do horse and pony show here. If we got problems, we gonna sit down. We want to talk like men. All this for the gram and what look good. That's not gonna do nothing. What's gonna do something is real men coming to the table. I got a problem with you. All right, listen. I got a problem with this brother right here. Listen, man. Excuse me. Our kids is getting killed. Them kids look like me.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? In this city of Philadelphia, I got a lot of dead family members in cemeteries. Let's talk about that. If you don't have that, you're not going to feel what I feel. So because of that, we need to sit down and have a real off the cameras. Forget the cameras.
Right.
Let's sit like men. Let's figure out what we're going to do and come up with a strategy. If people not willing to do that, it's a horse and pony show. Everybody, we go all sit down. That's Kalan folly. Everybody's not really trying to do that.
So to follow up what both y'all said, because both y'all said a key word, right? Both y'all said the rural conversation, right? Both y'all said that we gotta sit down and have the rural conversation. So when you say the real conversation, what is something you refer to as the real conversation? Like, I would like to sit down with everybody and have the rural conversation. What is the real conversation?
Let me say something. So yesterday, right, Philadelphia Masjid, they had a meeting with imams and security and trying to figure out a better strategy to help secure the perimeter, secure the areas. It was a meeting for all the imams and people. Everybody wasn't there.
Okay.
But that affected who? Affected the whole city.
Nah.
Right? How come everybody wasn't there? Why? Why not? These are kids getting killed out here. These are kids getting shot at. Why not? You know what I'm saying? We could talk the talk, but when it's time to move out, we gotta move out. Everybody not moving out. It sound good, but everybody not moving out. If you a leader, hold any status in this city, you should have been there yesterday. You should have been there. You know what I'm saying? Right now, the meeting was about what are we going to do to help protect our communities? What are we going to do? Right? Everybody should have been there. Because if we say we serious about that, we should show up where Muslims is having stuff and our kids are getting killed and our kids got problems. We need to figure out a solution. We can't, one side of the city can't say, oh, we got a solution up here, but they don't got one over there. No, we all Muslim. At the end of the day, everybody say La ilaha illallah Muhammadur Rasulullah. And for those that study Islam, that know Islam, understand when Sajjid mentioned maslaha amma, this is what Islam is about. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, ta'awanu ala birri wa taqwa, wa la ta'awanu ala ithmi wa udwan. Allah says, work together in righteousness and piety, and don't work together in sin and transgression. This righteousness and piety is not restricted to your group. This righteousness and piety even goes far to the non-Muslims. You know what I'm saying? So if you could work with non-Muslims for a general maslaha, why can't you deal with the Muslims for the same purpose? There's nothing in this ayah that restricts that. And if anyone says that, no, this is only talking about our group, hey, bring your evidence to support it. There's nothing in Islam that support that. And if anybody listening that's got a problem with it, go look for your evidence and let's sit down and talk about it. Based on what we study in Islam, this is for everybody. Everybody. You can work with anybody in righteousness and piety, but you don't work with people in committing a sin or transgression. This is what the ayah means. If anyone has a different explanation of this ayah, bring it so that we can learn from you.
I would say that even the meeting yesterday with the Philadelphia Masjid, right? Because it's two sides, it's a two-way street. Somebody's gonna say, "Well, I didn't know about the meeting, right? I didn't go because I didn't know. Had I known, I would have went." Cool. My question is, whoever invited everybody, is everybody invited, or is it only a certain group of people invited? You see what I'm saying? Because the first thing, well, I didn't know about it, so I ain't go. If I'd have known about it, I'd have went. Cool. So you didn't hear about it? No. All right, my question is now, why, if it's for the city, it's for the general benefit of the city, why doesn't everyone know about it?
Sheikh said he reached out to everybody.
Cool.
Saifullah said he reached out to everybody.
Cool. In that case, whoever received it, I can't make it. Somebody should be there to represent whatever the entity is, at the least. I forgot the other question.
So, one thing you said, Ali, you referred to groups, right? And when we look at the division, we can say it looks like groups, right? And when we look at what's happening with the youth, we know it's groups. We know it's this gang and that gang, this block and that block. But then there's also amongst the Muslims, he attend such masjid. I don't bang with him. I don't rock with him. He was over here at this masjid, but then I seen him over there at that masjid. I don't rock with him. I don't bang with him because it's groups. What do you advise that people who feel like is a need for a group, or what do you advise the people to help them with an understanding of it don't need to be no group. We looking for the unity. Our doors are open. We welcoming y'all. We want y'all to come in. We want y'all to attend the masjid. We want to help y'all solve y'all issues and y'all problems. You say to them people.
I'm going to say the real conversation is, that's what you said before that. The real conversation, right? Part of it is we men. You got to be able to sit down and express yourself without being angry and emotional and screaming and all that. We talking as men. What's the problem? From the top down, bottom, however you want to talk about it. If we can't come to the table, what's the problem? Listen, we all suffering from general issues that we all, the whole city, cool. How can we sit down? I don't know what's going on your side. This the issues we dealing with on this side. Y'all might have answers for what we dealing with, but you don't want to talk.
Okay.
Y'all, we might have answers for what y'all dealing with. They might have answers for everybody. If we not sitting down and talking like men, where's the real conversation at? That's the real conversation. Listen, I'm not talking about my problem with you, for example. I ain't got a problem, just saying. To me, I'm going to give you an example. You out of pocket in some areas, for real, for real. I'm really not feeling you like that.
Right.
But this ain't about you. This is about the kids dying in the street.
Nah,
so I'm going to leave that till later. Listen, let's see if we could put something together and try to get these young boys off the street so they don't have to keep dying and their mothers are showing up because they come into the match and then they ain't here next week. Next thing you know, they friends is taking shahada, they showing up at the Eid, then we got a whole situation at the Eid. When we gonna be like, all right, enough is enough. Listen, let me put that to the side. I got a problem with bull, but we could do something better. It's a bigger issue. Islam considers the bigger picture. And part of that comes because a lot of us refuse, and I say this all the time, a lot of the Muslims in this city refuse to learn. Refuse. Learn means you gotta go to class more than a lecture.
Right.
Not a weekend lecture. You gotta dedicate yourself some time out of your busy life to sit down for an hour a week. Classes, most classes in the city don't last more than an hour, hour and 10 minutes. Muslims refuse to learn. They refuse. We'll show up for a lecture here and there.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It's decent. They selling stuff. They vending. We grab something, show some pictures and all that. But sit, learn. Take my family to the masjid, a book from beginning to end, wherever you at, wherever in the city you at. To do that, a lot of us not doing that. So the results that we get as a community are from us refusing to take that initial step and learn. That's why we don't know how to behave as Muslims. A lot of Muslims don't know even what to believe properly. How are we supposed to be believing? They don't even know. We don't know the basic stuff. Not because everybody got to go overseas to learn that, but most people are not willing to dedicate time. Like we willing to dedicate time to the gym, right? We want to dedicate time to our kids' sports. We're going to dedicate time to making money. Whatever we deem to be important, we want to dedicate time to. When it comes to learning deen, sit, learn an hour, write down a note. A lot of us not willing to do that. And then when it shows back up, as they say, when the ugly head appears of what the results, then we want to complain and talk about it. You know what I'm saying? But that's for all of us. All of us have a job of learning. Not just the people who go to the masjids. The imams have a constant job of constantly learning more and sharpening up, and just like everybody else. And I think that's part of the big problem with the brothers and the sisters, new Muslims, old Muslims. Learning is not really it's not really a real urgency to learn. It's like that'd be decent. You learn something that's decent.
Not like you need to.
Not like it's a necessity.
Yeah.
Because if we 40, what's going to happen in 10 years, 20 years?
Right.
Everybody that's 40 be 60. All the 20s, they be 40.
Right.
The ones that's who taking over?
Right. And what's some of the things that Imam Muslim Family Center does offer to like combat those things, combat the helping the people learn, opening the doors to their masjid to invite the people to come and see that we have this program or that program. What kind of things do y'all offer to like combat those things?
He the man for that.
Yeah, he the man.
I'm gonna tell you what we try to do. This is what we try to do. We try to consistently teach.
Okay.
We try to consistently teach. And we try to make sure that whatever we teaching is on the level of the people sitting in front of us. Because the next issue we have is a lot of us, when we do go to a class and sit, sometimes the information is over our head. Sometimes we don't understand what the teacher is saying.
Right.
And on top of that, we're not going to say we don't understand because we don't want to look like we don't know. You know what I'm saying? We too embarrassed to say we don't know. We don't want everybody to know that we think I'm the only one here that don't know. No, if you don't understand something, there's probably 10 more people in here that don't understand. Nobody wants to say nothing.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? What we try to do is constantly teach and teach and teach and keep it on a level where anybody who walk in the door and sit in that class can learn and benefit something.
Okay.
We try to apply what we're learning so that the environment is welcoming, so that people want to come back.
Another thing we're trying to do is restart our mentoring program.
Okay.
We had a mentoring program with young people. This was a couple of years ago, was going really well. So we're going to try to reintroduce that again. But like I said, he deals with all of that.
Okay.
Starting in May.
Started in May. Our primary job, we do the teaching.
Right.
Right, but we have other people that do like a lot of the social interactions and stuff like that. So we, in this neighborhood, when we first got here, it was
What neighborhood we in for the people who don't know where the masjid is at, or the people don't understand the seriousness of the neighborhood that we're in? What neighborhood are we in?
So this is called the Bottom.
Okay.
West Philadelphia. This is the Bottom. Out here, you got a lot of gangs out here. And we, alhamdulillah, like when we see the young brothers come in, we talk to them. They talk to us. The thing is, once they come, we try to keep them.
Right.
But it's needed. Whatever, and this is another thing, right? Our IMFC is new. We just opened up at, 18?
Yeah, being 18, right?
The beginning of 2018. Alhamdulillah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala allowed the community to grow out here. Like, this was empty and desolate when we got out here. There was nothing out here. Now, alhamdulillah, it's a lot of people coming around, a lot of activities and stuff like that. So the thing is, we're in the trenches right now. We in the trenches in Philly right here. At the end of the day, we still trying to educate. We're still trying to be good community, good neighbors to people around us. We don't want to just keep Islam in the classes. We want to actually be Muslim. You know what I'm saying? We want to be Muslim. We go out there, we smile at the people. We have food drives and stuff like that. So we're really in the community here, alhamdulillah. Our goal from that standpoint is to continue along that track. To help who we can help, and and especially with the young people, to keep doing what we can do to try to aid them as best we can.
Part of that is like, for example, a lot of people, young and older, have never been anywhere travel-wise.
Right.
So we try to do stuff a little out the box. For example, so right now we got a fishing trip coming up. Right.
Okay.
Previous years it was in Maryland.
Right.
Now the next one is going to be up in Massachusetts.
Okay.
Some of these kids never been off the block. They never been out of their neighborhood.
Right.
They don't go outside of their area of the city at all. They need to see exposure and to be comfortable going outside of there so they can grow in life. Exposure is a big thing for people, but especially for kids. So we try to do stuff where they can get some exposure, whether it's environment, they go to a different city, whether it's people. Some of us only deal with black. We don't know how to talk with the people. If they ain't black and they don't talk like I talk, I don't know how to talk to them.
Right.
So we go in places and we talking to everybody the same. We don't know how to adapt to situations. So we try to do a lot of things for exposure, just to get them in a different environment.
And for the people that don't know, like for the people who aren't exposed to that, like you mentioned the fishing trip, everybody used to be out on the blocks, right? And they still out on the blocks. But the biggest block in the world right now is social media, right? Do y'all use social media to expose what the masjid is offering pertaining to the good that the masjid is offering? Like, yo, we got a fishing trip, let's post this joint up. Or how do I find out about the specific fishing trip? How do I get exposed to that if I've never been here, if I never been to West Philly, to the Bottom? How do I get exposed to this fishing trip?
So it's funny you said that. We're not big, and we trying to we just had a meeting with a new social media team people. So we're gonna try. I mean, we real grassroots here, man. We're not really big on social media like
Right.
that. But I mean, inshallah, we're gonna try. We just met with some people the other day. They're gonna try to take over our stuff and
Right.
take it
if
to another
anybody
level.
looking
But
for the stuff, we have it. We just not like
we don't know that.
we're
we don't
not
know
that great.
yet.
That's not really our lane like that.
Nah.
We got everybody looking for it. They can go on Imam Muslim Family Center on Instagram,
Nah.
Facebook, YouTube,
Right.
Twitter,
Right.
And,
But our stuff pretty dead
Looking
though.
for volunteers.
Right.
Huh?
We looking for volunteers.
Yeah, we looking for volunteers. Anybody want
So they
to
looking
talk
for
and come
volunteers,
down and help
everybody on the
out?
live.
Listen,
Y'all hate
anybody got ideas? Hold on
Right.
real quick. Anybody got ideas? We don't have no bureaucracy here, no red tape.
Right.
If somebody looking like, man, y'all should do this, all right, come on, you take care of it, you run it.
Right.
That's how we do here.
Right.
Anybody
We've been
come with an
doing
idea,
Right.
you want it, that's a good idea, okay, you be responsible for
Right.
it, you run it.
And I believe that because I made one phone call. I called Ali. I said, Ali, I got this series that I'm trying to do, that I'm actually doing, and I'm trying to sit down with leaders in the community, right, and try to come together to see if we can create some type of unity as men, as Muslims, right? Because we know that the men in Islam are really in charge. But we talking about real men. You have to be a real man to really be in charge. So when I called Ali, he hit me with the, we don't really do social media, we don't really, but my door is open to you. The door is open. We could come, you can have a conversation. I really am not too big on social media, but for the benefit of it, my door is open. So what do you say to the other leaders in the community, right, who might feel like, I have an issue with the brother because of such, so his door might not be open to me. Or I try to crack that door, but the brother didn't want to open to me. And we out in the public, this will be posted as well, and everyone who I've been reaching out to and sitting down with is saying the same thing. My door is open. You can walk through this door. So what is your message to the...
all that
Right.
stuff sound good.
It sound good. So what is your message, right?
What we gonna do
to
something?
say to the other leaders in the community to let them know that the door is truly open. The door. I'm waiting for y'all to come have this conversation.
You
with
talking
me.
to the wrong people because we already down. You gotta talk to the people who got a problem.
No.
We ready. Get the flyer. A Man Muslim Family Center is coming together with this masjid, this masjid, this masjid. We trying to fight the violence in the city to save the kids. That's what we trying to do. Who ready to put the flyer out? We ready. So that's not a question
I
for
mean,
us.
you saw me. I ain't nothing to talk about. You already know where I'm at with it.
Right.
So I mean, at the end of the day, we could talk it. Everybody not the same. Everybody don't really want to do that. I don't feel that everybody really wants to do that. But I could be wrong, and if that's what brothers want to do, then we could do it. This is the opportunity is
Come
there.
prove us wrong, and,
Yeah.
and I would love to see that.
I think that would be. I think it would be
on behalf
beneficial.
of Imam Muslim Family Center, I'm challenging the leaders in the community to walk through that door, to open that door, take that seat, and come over and have a conversation, and let's bring the unity.
Well, I'm gonna say this: they don't gotta come here. We can meet anywhere.
Right,
I don't want to make it
right,
seem like you
right.
gotta come see
No,
us.
no,
Like we
right.
not who away. At the end
Right.
of the day,
No.
we can go meet anywhere. But at the end of the day, though, is we need to figure out a strategy to help save our kids.
Right.
That's it. If that means that you gotta be the king and we the sheep, whatever, it ain't that deep for us. We're not on that type time.
Right.
At the end of the day, it's about the kids. It's about our community. It's about people that look like us that's getting killed every day, and nobody's doing nothing about it. So as men, we need to figure out a way to fix that. You know what I'm saying? We could talk all day. I propose a solution. I don't know how big it will be, but I think certain communities should come together, put our own stop the violence thing together from us. We don't need politicians. We don't need people, city officials and all that. No, we need to do that. We need to do that among ourselves. I don't need somebody that work for the government to come, hey, you guys should. No. We do it. We put our resources together. We don't need their money. We put our own resources together. We meet up together and we talk to the youth. We bring in people, the professionals in that need to speak to these young people. We need to do it. I think the Muslim community needs to see the leadership of the Muslims come together on that accord. That's my opinion. It could be wrong, but
I'm down.
it
We
beats
down.
a blank.
Let's do it.
It beats not doing nothing.
But I'm gonna tell you what happens. Gonna happen. All this is great till the flyer. Where the flyer? That's public. What's gonna happen is, why y'all on the flyer with them? I thought they was this, that, and the third.
Right.
That's what's gonna happen. The
Thought
boys
they
gonna pump
was
their brakes.
thought they was
They're gonna
innovators.
slow down and they ain't gonna want to do it.
Right.
Now, to me, cool. Step to the side. The people who with it, let's keep pushing.
Right.
Or we just gonna wait for everybody, like then what we doing with the kids as they just die off, a whole generation die off,
Right.
and we arguing about.
Right.
I mean, that's what happens normally.
Ali, I got a question for you because for a lot of people that might not know, and I'm somebody that does know. You worked in the jails. You did
Right.
man in the jails, in prison for years, and you get to see that side of the consequences when it comes to what these young boys is out here doing, committing these crimes, losing their life to the system. Me personally, I've been there. I did 10 years. There's other brothers in here. Amir in the room with us. He did 34 years, had a life sentence. So, what do you tell the young boys pertaining to your experience of what you see they go through that haven't? Because a lot of these young boys, they commit these crimes because they haven't been there, right?
Right.
They being used to commit these crimes by people who committed these crimes because they know the outcome. But since this young boy, he 14, 15, you gonna be all right, youngin', you a juvenile. They're not gonna do nothing to you until they in that position and they facing that life sentence. So what's your advice to those kids pertaining to some of the experiences that you've seen brothers have to go through when you was in the jails putting in the work?
I mean, honestly, I worked in the jail, so it would be easier hearing it from you.
Right.
You know what I mean? I saw both sides. It would be like I go to work every day, and it's like I'm in prison, and then I get to come home every day.
Right.
So my experience, what I tell the young brothers is this: listen, you're gonna have to listen to a man one way or another. Either you're gonna listen to a man trying to school you now, or when you get locked up, you're gonna have to listen to a man then. That's your choice. I recommend you listen now while you have the choice to. Otherwise, you're gonna be forced to. That's your choices. You know what I mean? Life is this, and like I talk to a lot of young brothers. What's your plan? What's your goal? You have a goal in life? Yeah, I want to do this. All right, how you gonna get there? These are the conversations I have with young brothers. If you want to do something in your life, let's say you say, all right, I want to be an engineer. All right, do you know any engineers? No. Let's take this young brother, introduce him to an engineer. That way he can mentor him. That's what our young men need. They need mentors. So I would like to talk to a young brother before they go to jail. When you go to jail, and this is what I found, and Allah knows best. When I was working in the prison, I used to talk to a lot of the brothers, a lot of them, individual. I would call them down to my office. I want to get, I could look up your story, but I want you to tell me your story. What's up with you? When I talk to them, and this is what I found. Most of the men that's locked up, they didn't have their fathers in their life, and there was no men around them. Right? The ones that were locked up and they had their fathers around them, they took accountability.
Right.
It's a difference. You got men that took accountability. I knew I was out of pocket, blah, 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 to the end of it. And then you got men that didn't have their father, they still making excuses. It's everybody else's fault.
Right.
That's the difference. So what I'm saying is, if we can get the young men now to respect men. This is what I asked the young brother behind the camera the other day at his school. I said, listen, what men do y'all respect in your life? Because if you find a man that they respect, you need to put them close to them because you're going to listen to them.
Right.
See, you want these kids to listen to men that they respect now before they forced to listen to men that they don't respect.
Right.
And they'll have a choice now.
Right.
See what I'm saying? That's the reality. And I always say this, women cannot raise men to be men. I don't care. Sisters, you gotta, I raised my son. Okay, you raised him to be a nice, productive member of society, but for the most part, a woman cannot raise a man to think like a man. That's what men do. Just like a man can't raise a woman and make her think like a man or a woman. You can't. We're not women, so we don't know how women think, right? A woman's not a man, so she don't know how men think. Men have to take care of men. I'll give you another example. If you're a man and you're not around other men, you're going to have problems in life. Because right now, if I got issues, I need to talk to another man. I need to talk to a man about it. The school me, tell me what I'm doing wrong, how I need to move. These young boys need the same thing.
Right.
I'm a grown man, I still talk to old heads. I talk to old heads all the time.
Right.
Sheikh, I don't know what I'm in a situation, man. What you think? How you think I should move with it? I get advice from him, whatever. These young brothers, they need men to talk to. They don't know what they're doing. They need men to talk to. So that's my advice to the young brothers, even the young men that's locked up right now. I used to spend a lot of time talking to them about their life, how they think, how they move. If they coming home, what's the plan when they come home?
Right.
If you're not coming home, listen to the old heads that's doing life.
Right.
Because they're not going to lie to you.
Right.
That's one thing I found out about lifers. People that's doing life in prison, they ain't gonna never lie to you. They ain't gonna, there's no benefit for them to lie to you. So I young boys, get with the lifers, talk to them, and they gonna tell you how to move and how to get out of here and not come back.
So as we know, unfortunately, it's a lot of sisters in the community who are single mothers, who are trying to raise these boys to be men. And for the sisters who might need the help, that feel like, well, I turned to the masjid and they don't want to help me with my son, or I'm scared to approach the masjid. What advice do you give them on coming to the masjid, the doors being open for them to walk through, and getting the help that they need with having brothers like yourselves, people who are in charge of the community and leaders who can have these conversations with their sons?
Dang. The masjid, wherever you're at, we need to know the importance of the masjid, number one. So if you're a single mother, you need to know, okay, you take your boys to the masjid, let them be on the side with the men. Understand that those men are going to be correcting them. They need to be corrected by men. A lot of times we sensitive about our kids. Nobody, we bring to the masjid, nobody can say anything to our kids. So we supposed to let your young boy run wild over here and act crazy and not say nothing to him. That's reckless. And that's not going to benefit the child at all. That's going to be a problem for the boy later. So going to the masjid is extremely important. Letting the boys go on the men's side, let them be corrected by men. Let him know when he goes there, they're going to be helping you out. They're going to be telling you, giving you some direction what to do. Put him in a program, a mentor program. Put him in a weekend school. If he's not able to go to a Islamic school, put him in a weekend school with the Muslims. He needs to be around men so that he can understand, like he just said, how we think, how we move, how we do our direction, how we pray. His brothers, kids come in here. A lot of times, the sisters don't bring the kids to the masjid, right? For whatever reason. By the time they bring them, they're older, they're uncomfortable. They don't even know what to do when they come here. You know what I'm saying? So anybody who's in the masjid all the time, you could tell when somebody like feels uncomfortable. So we try to make them comfortable. Don't worry about it. You can sit down, and try to walk them through stuff like that. But I think it's important to take the masjid. Don't be scared. And that's part of, because some people, that is a complaint. They go to the masjid. That's part of the masjid. That's part of the administrations of masjids. That's part of the people who are, if that's the masjid you frequent, this your masjid, part of you frequenting that masjid is making it a comfortable environment. So when people who don't frequent that masjid, when they come there, they feel comfortable. There's plenty of masjids people go to, and I was comfortable. I ain't messing with them no more. Not because they didn't want to go to masjid. They went in there, you grinting on them, you staring at them, you act like you're going to do something to them. They just came off the street. They figure I can go in here and get some mercy and some peace. People looking at me like we still on the street, so they don't want to go there no more. That's a masjid issue. Every masjid is responsible for creating that environment of being welcoming, so that the sisters don't feel like they got to be scared, or the brothers. I'm not scared to go there. I know I'm going to get some help. That's a community. I think that's a community effort, though. Making them, you know what I'm saying, making the masjids feel welcoming.
And then, what can you say to the young brothers and the young sisters, because we got kids in general, period, males and females commit these crimes, these murders, and harming each other. We got the Muslims harming each other. What is the nasihat advice that you give them to make them understand the severity of a Muslim harming a Muslim, of a Muslim being at war with another Muslim, of a Muslim backbiting another Muslim? What is the severity of that?
So I went to a school. We went to a school, high school, the other day, and one of the benefits I got was talking to the kids. See, what's happening is you're talking to adults, right? We're not in the mix. We don't even know how they think.
Right.
We don't even know how they think. But by us going to the school and there's a bunch of kids in front of us and we ask them, what do y'all think? What are y'all dealing with? They'll tell you what they're dealing with, and they'll tell you the help that they need.
Right.
They told us, basically, they need a safe space. They don't have that. They got stuff going on. They want to talk to somebody. They don't have the space to talk to them. Their family situation might not be the best. You know, maybe they struggling in certain things at home, right? So then okay, well, what do y'all need? Are y'all open to class? Yes, all of them open to learn. We went to the school, every kid there raised their hand, said they're willing to learn. They want to learn about Islam. So what that means is, it's okay, there's an opportunity. they're Muslim, but they want to learn about. Maybe they don't even know you're not supposed to kill another. They don't even know. A kid came in here yesterday, and I'm gonna touch on something. You know, everybody jumped on the brother Shadid about explaining the Shahada, right? About the Shahada. But the brother got it from Surah Al-Mumtahana. Well, Allah says, فَامْتَحِنُهُنَّ. Test them. Test them about what they believe. So the reality, and I'm going to show you what this looks like in real time. A young brother came, and even when Allah says test them, when the Muslims in Medina, the Muhajirin, or the Muslims, the Muhajir, they came to Medina, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala told the Prophet, test them and make sure they got their shahada, like it's really what they say it is. Do they believe or do they not? Are they running away from their husbands? Are they running away from their family? Are they trying to, like, do they really want to follow Allah and His messenger? A young brother came in here yesterday to take shahada, right? I asked the young brother, do you know anything about Islam? No. What do Muslims believe? I don't know. 2 times. This happened twice in the last 3 days. Well, what do you know about Islam? Nothing really. I just like how it looked, and my friend Muslim, so I want to be Muslim. I said, nah, listen, youngin, this is what Islam is. We worship Allah alone with no partners. We follow His Prophet Muhammad alayhi salatu wasalam, right? We pray 5 times a day. I explained what Islam is, and this is what you're getting a part of. Is this something that you want to do? Yes. Okay, then we gave the shahada. Now, how many young people? I sat in a whole school yesterday, 2 days ago. They all Muslim. Half these kids don't even know what it means to be. They don't even know what they believe. Allah, what is Allah? Allah. What do we do? Do we worship? How do we worship Allah? They don't know. And if we're not educating them, if we're not, so that falls on us as well, right? We're, as a community, we're not taking the time out to educate the kids. And that starts at home. Parents, if your parents are Muslim and you have kids, you got to start educating your children, right? And then another thing, a brother mentioned something yesterday at the meeting. He said, right now when we're looking at these 14 and 15-year-olds, right? He said, but we need to get to them kids when they're in 2nd and 3rd grade. When they're in 1st and 2nd, because these are little brothers to the 15-year-olds. Right? That's their little cousins. And if they see them moving out of pocket, then they figure, okay, when I grow up, this is what I aspire to be. So then it starts when they're in 1st grade, 2nd grade, 3rd grade, 4th grade, all the way up. So it's a process. It's a process. And I think that being in a position of leadership is not always the best thing to be in. Sometimes it's easier not to have that responsibility, honestly. Right. But being in this position and having that responsibility, you're forced to make decisions that maybe you may not want to sit and talk to us. I may not want to sit and talk to you for real. Right. But guess what? If it's going to be a benefit for the Muslims at large, I got to put my feelings aside and think about the big picture. And I think that as men, we have to be responsible enough to be able to do that. Because in order to do that, it takes a certain level of maturity and responsibility to make that type of decision. And I think a lot of us leaders, the younger ones in particular, we may not be built like that as a group. We may not be built. Imams, students of knowledge, whatever the case may be, we may not be built like that. Right? The old heads, they built like that. The brothers that run Philadelphia Mansion, they built like that. They old heads. They put their beef aside to try to fix what's going on. Us, no. And the problem with us is most of us, we the ones that claim we study. We the ones that claim we got, quote unquote, supposed to have the knowledge. But then we got the knowledge, but we can't put stuff aside because for the bigger picture. And then somebody said, oh, well, we don't put our Aqidah aside. Well, what's the Aqidah issues? What's our Aqidah issues? What do we say that's going against Quran and Sunnah? Huh? This is what I'm saying. Like, it's a problem, man. It's a problem. Shake that.
I think. Go ahead.
Answer. Go ahead and answer.
Publishing.
Now, I had a question. What advice a young Muslim mother who's raising a young man? He's not gotten to that point where he's, in the street going crazy, but you can see it, it's there, it's coming. What kind of advice would you give that young Muslim mother who's raising a young Muslim man by herself?
The first thing I would ask is, where's his father?
Okay.
Where's his father? If his father in his life, Is his father dead? Is his father living? Is his father, where's his dad? His dad needs to. She didn't have to be by herself,
Right.
so he has a father. Where's the men in his family? Right? Reach out to them, the respectable men in the family. Right? I mean, you can't. The thing is, it's deeper. It's deeper than that, Sheik. But from this standpoint, get the men involved. If there's no men in the family, there's no men around, look for whatever masjid or place that they have where they offer mentoring. As a mother, she got to understand, like, this could be my son out here tomorrow. Right? She got to look and get him around other men. Put him in position where he can learn from other men. That's my advice. What you guys say, Sheik?
Number one, I would like to encourage the sisters who are raising boys by themselves that a lot of the scholars of Islam of the past, a lot of them, big scholars that everybody still depends on today in the Muslim world, a lot of them, their fathers were dead, they might have been orphans, so they grew up and their mothers raised them. So the mothers had a major responsibility in raising a lot of the big imams of Islam. So it's not like if their fathers passed away, if he's in court, it's not like the boys are doomed. It's nothing going to work. No, but the mother has to know. Okay, number one, it's very possible. It's very possible to have a bright future for my son. He don't have to. It doesn't have to be like that. But the proper steps need to be taken at the same time. You have to know. Okay, I need, number one, sister. The sisters have to understand in their brains. I'm talking. I need men to mentor my son. I can't do it alone. You don't have to do it alone. Islam doesn't charge us that you have to be responsible like that. There's other ways to do it. And we all know it's mentoring programs, it's weekend schools, it's Arabic schools for kids. Get them around the men that you see to be upright, better than you, that you respect their life, you respect their deen, you respect what they're doing with themselves, and try to put your children in that atmosphere, especially if you're not able to provide it. Because a person's going to argue, I don't really know that my Islam not like that. Cool. If your Islam not like that, put your kids in a better situation than you in. Don't keep everybody in the crib. It's now nobody in Islam is like that.
Right.
Now everybody's drowning together. And everybody says, I want my kids to have better than what I had. Cool. My Islam is not like that. But at least I can try to put my children in a better situation so they can get it. And then maybe once they get it, they can come back to the house, you know what I'm saying, and help the house, help us get better. So I would say to sisters that be encouraged. That there's plenty of imams, big imams that Islam respects. And they were raised without fathers, whether the father was dead or whatever the case may be, or early, they were orphans, whatever the case may be. And they turned out to be very, very respectable people in our deen. And there's other ways, but they got to believe it.
But even with that, they had men around.
No doubt.
They had men around to support. They had men around. Yeah.
So, as you know, and you mentioned that the young brother I have here with me today, I met him through, alhamdulillah, we did like a giveaway for the kids doing it, where we wanted to like, boost them up and show them we appreciate them. And so we did something for them where we gave them free haircuts. We took them to the sneaker store, let them pick out whatever pair of sneakers they wanted. The brother over at Medina Brand, he donated some those and Izars for the kids. And unfortunately, he was one of the kids that was at the Id during the shooting. And he's here today and he's filming us, and he's actually using my camera because during the shooting, he's pursuing a professional career in videography. So he had his camera out and he started running and dropped his camera, it broke, right? So I started bringing him along because I wanted to show him the unity amongst the Muslims, and I wanted to show him how men carry themselves. And Ali had the privilege of meeting me because he went to a school to talk to the kids, and he happened to be one of the kids at the school. So I just want him to be able to ask a question or maybe voice on something that he feel that when it comes to the leaders in the community, things that they feel like they might not be able to call y'all. Because me, I got Ali's number, I could call his phone and say, oh, Ali, I want to talk to you. And what we fail to realize sometimes is that when we on the blocks, the other workers, we don't care about the other workers, we care about the boss. So everybody trying to get to the boss, right? And unfortunately, like Ali said, being a leader always ain't cracked up what it's to be, right? It's a little hard at times. But once you take that position, the average person is looking at like, I don't want to talk to the brother who just be there praying with me and he leading on. I want to talk to the boss. So I want to be able to see what do you think is something that you would like to ask the brothers, or you would like to mention to the brothers that the youth need?
I feel like I feel like we need like I feel like how y'all was saying like we need mentors. That's exactly like what us young men need, cause like we don't have nobody to talk to. Like I know me, I got my stepdad, I got Ubi. It's like multiple resources for me. But what about the other young boys who don't have it? Like I know some people like who don't have a stepdad or somebody like Ubi. They don't have nowhere to run to. So like now they just like their head is telling them to go to the streets because it's like I don't got nowhere else to go. So like if your mom like got siblings, all that, if your mom trying like hustle to get like an extra dollar or something, like so she getting extra jobs and all that, you don't have nobody to like go to. So now like you run into the streets because like that's the only thing there. Like so. I just like we just really need mentors and like somebody who we can talk to, who we can express our feelings to. Cause I know like before my stepdad came into my life and would be, I really didn't have nobody to talk to. It was just I was around a lot of women, like my grandma, my mom. Cause I used to live there on the street and I always used to be outside until my stepdad came around. He started taking me with him more, like just like taking me away from that environment. Cause I could feel myself like I felt myself drifting like away into like the streets and all that. But then he kind of took me and started like taking me with them, and I started being around men more. So I was like, I noticed like this is not what I want for myself, because I don't want to be 15 in jail or dead somewhere. I don't. That's not what I want for myself. I want to make it out of Philly.
Let me ask
So
you one more question.
mm,
So if let's say Imam Muslim Family Center, there's plenty of masjids in the city, right?
yes,
If they created like a hotline where y'all can call and say, you know what, I need somebody to talk to, or I'm scared to come to the masjid, but I got the number and I need some help, or I'm hungry. I had a little brother. I go talk to the youth at different programs. I had the little brother reach out to me and say, "Babe, I need your help because I'm about to go commit a crime." I said, "What you gonna do that for?" He sent me a screenshot. He was trying to order some wings from Wingstop that was $13. And I say, "Listen, man, here go $30." He said, "I just went and bought some wings for me and my mother because we was gonna share that first order. But since you blessed me, I was able to bless her." And he sent me the order to show me, right, that he spent $20 and he had $10 more for tomorrow. So he put his gun away and ain't have to go commit that crime. So if the masjid had a hotline, do you think it's something that'd benefit y'all?
yeah, it really would, because it's like you can talk to them about things you can't talk to nobody else about. Like I feel like we don't like when you offer like a therapist and all that, because I like when you offer it sound good, like, but I'm not talking to somebody that look like me. It's like I'm talking to a woman, or I'm not talking to somebody that look like me. So you get two choices: either you talking to a woman, a black woman, or a white woman, or you talking to somebody that don't look like you. You're talking to somebody who don't know where you come from, so they don't understand where you coming from. They don't know what you talking about. They just want to help you. They just want to be there. But if you got somebody who know exactly what you're talking about, they can help you understand better, like what you going through and all that. And it can like that can probably be like your escape. Because I know like some young boys, they don't have an escape. That's why they go to the streets.
So you would utilize the hotline. You
Yeah.
would say, "Yo, I just called the masjid. The brother gave me this advice, so I'm gonna be able to go meet the brother." Or, and it might be something personal where you don't even gotta tell nobody you called a hotline. You just called a hotline and you was able to talk to Ali, Abu Sajjid, Amir. You was able to talk to somebody like me, or you was able to just reach somebody at the masjid and tell them your issue and your problem. You think that'd be something beneficial?
Yeah, it would be beneficial.
So inshallah,
Oh, that's a major joint,
we
man.
came up with a hotline
That's
idea,
a
right?
major joint.
So maybe
That's major.
we could get every masjid involved,
Yeah, that's decent.
where we got a hotline where the young boys could just call up. 'Cause like I said, I could call Ali, right? I could call Hassan. I got his number. I called Imam Idris. I was on the phone with Anwar Wright yesterday. I got Hafiz's number. I got multiple numbers of people that I can call, right? But these young boys ain't got nobody. Y'all just heard him.
Yeah.
They don't have nobody. So
That's a good idea.
maybe Imam Muslim Family Center, I'ma challenge y'all to create a
That initiative,
hotline
that's-
or to start the initiative of this hotline for the kids where cause I ain't gonna lie, when I was on the streets, I wanted to be a shooter. I wanted to be the best shooter in the world, right? I used to be down in the Badlands. I used to ride the Benji, put the K on my back, and ride around like I was Rambo with somebody, right? So you telling me to come over and talk to this therapist, like he just said, I'm not coming to talk to that lady. I'm not, but maybe if I could just call a Sajjid or call this hotline and say, yo, let me talk to y'all. I'm about to do this, I'm about to do that. Could y'all advise me? Could y'all point me in the right direction? So, could we try to figure that out?
Yeah,
That's
for
major.
sure.
That's
I'm
major.
looking at the
Yeah.
I'm looking at the feedback. They loving it.
That's major, man.
Yeah,
that's
that's
so
nice.
major. You came up with that?
Yeah, right now,
No,
just
that's a
'cause,
major joint.
you know, I'm hearing what he's saying, right?
No, that's major.
And he said some things, and I hear Ali just under his breath, like man,
No, that's
like if he could shed some tears, he would, right? Because that's the issue. I got family members in that grave.
No doubt.
He got family members. You got family members. We got friends. We got relatives in them graves that maybe just calling that hotline and saying, yeah, I need some help, man.
Yes, that's real. That's
Yeah,
real.
I don't want to tell nobody I get high, but I've been getting high, man. Talk to me, right? Or maybe I could call the hotline and just play some Quran for me, right? Or maybe it does something for me to touch me and to bring me and attach me to the masjid. So,
We need to do that.
inshallah,
No, we need to do that, man.
inshallah,
that's
that's something that we could probably come up with and help the youth. So, we gonna close out, inshallah. Y'all could give us a closeout. Y'all could give us something that, you know, we could close out with, and we can end the live. And everybody on the live, I appreciate y'all. We just came up with something. We're gonna work on this hotline to benefit everybody, because I could be a non-Muslim and call,
No doubt.
right? I could be like, yo, the brother up the street, he Muslim, man. Is a Muslim supposed to carry themselves this way? And you might say, no, he not. Listen, in the Quran, verse such say this. Go remind him. And now you got this non-Muslim saying, yo, I just called a hotline, bro. And the brother told me that in the Quran, I got this verse, this said this. Go read that drink. So it just becomes something beneficial for even a non-Muslim. So inshallah,
That's
give us a
major.
closeout, man, so we can.
The man.
I already know.
Man, gotta close us out, man.
Started us out.
You started off?
Yeah.
Nah, he started off.
He did? Did he start off?
I definitely started.
I'm gonna say, man, I'm praying, man. We make dua that Allah gives us sincerity, first of all, that we trying to help, and the reward is not in the dunya, in this life. That the reward is with Allah, and that we help people sincerely, knowing that our reward is with Allah. Number one, and I pray that He gives all of us, especially in this city, Philly, the strength, the courage, the maturity to stand up, especially the men and the sisters in their capacity at the situations they dealing with, to be Muslim all the way around the board. Do the right thing. And me and Nabi talking about stuff like, yo, all you gotta do is try to be a good person, a human. Be a good human being. And Islam is the icing on the cake. And if you learn, take the initiative. We need to be learning. Learning is serious. Learning is serious in Islam. We need to take that more serious. We willing to sacrifice our kids for sports. We're not really willing to sacrifice them for deen, though. And I say sacrifice like, yo, I'll go out of my way 3 times a week, 4 hours a day for a football practice, a basketball practice, traveling, paying fees, dues to the team. Talk about Quran class for the kids, Arabic class for the kids, Islamic studies. How much? Dang, why they ain't free? Why they ain't doing the feast of Sabilillah? How long is the class? What day is it on? We got a bunch of excuses, but we willing to sacrifice our children for some dunya because we assume, like you say, we assume it's gonna be a check at the end.
Yeah.
We assume that check gonna be at the end, so we willing. But when it come to deen, and that's the real thing that's gonna save us out here. May Allah make us more sincere. Subhanakallahumma wa bihamdika ashhadu an la ilaha illa anta astaghfiruka wa atubu ilayk. Jazakumullah khairan.
For coming, man.
I appreciate y'all, man.
Yeah,